Hello, friends. How are you? How's things? It's Thursday. How's your Thursday? Mine's pretty good. It's a absolutely gorgeous day here today. I have good work is going well. Music is going well. We played last night, and I'm. This isn't a talk about music, but it relates to last night, and it relates to other aspects of life that I wanted to talk about. And that is like, and it it kind of relates to yesterday about tenacity, about like being surprised by myself at times. Last night was a good example. We had rehearsal. We Instead of just like focusing on a song, we were like, let's just run through a bunch of our songs. I think in 3 hours we did 10 of our songs. Many of them we played more than once. We took lots of breaks, talked a whole lot, but we had a good focused session on let's just play songs. Let's just run through the book. And right from the very beginning, it just wasn't there. Like I feel like both of us were making mistakes. And when I say mistakes, I don't mean like missing a note. I mean like screwing the form up. Like, I was completely skipping entire lines of the form, like just messing stuff up, and not playing very together, very tight. I was like, for some reason, well, he gave me a song yesterday. Well, while I was asleep. So yesterday morning I woke up like we're gonna work on this new song, and I said great. It was a recording that he had done with him and his previous bass player. So I listened to it and I was like, oh, I like what this bass player is doing. Let me figure it out. I figured it out like, oh, I've seen this pattern before. It's a very simple pattern. I can play that. Let's try it. And I tried it, got it. Cool. So it was cool to be able to show up and be like, yeah, let's play that song that I just got this morning and played it pretty well. I think the first time through it, I screwed up the form and then we had to just start again and then we just played it all the way through and it was great. So that felt good. But I was like, because of that, because I was playing this new form and realizing that I could pepper that into other places in other songs, I was spending a lot of the session like listening to his playing and then finding those moments. Like, oh, that's a fun bit where I could be a little bit more colorful, as opposed to, oh, that's a bit where I need to back off and play just like whole notes or whatever. And because I was listening, I was like behind the beat the whole, like, just, and he called me out on it. You're behind the beat. I'm like, I know. And okay, that's the music talk over. The point is, by the end of the night, that was like halfway through the session, hour and a half in. We played really good songs. We ended up having like 2 or 3 or 4. The last like 3 songs, they ended up being really strong and really good plays, and had those moments where, in one of the songs, in fact, like one of the songs we played through 3 times, well, almost 3 times. The first time through it was just kind of like, whatever. It was fine. And then the last 2 times through were those moments when you almost get goosebumps because everything is working. You're clicking with each other. Musically, it's making sense. It was just like, yes, right? And so we ended on a very strong note. And that's kind of the point of this whole thing, is that I watched my kid this year. I watched my kid's team, her softball team, so many times get down in runs in a game and get down on themselves only to come back and win because they had the tenacity. In fact, with that softball team, they almost seemed to thrive when they were being beaten. Like that was like, it's time to buckle down, let's do this, ladies. And they did it, right? And that was really fun to watch. And for myself, in relation to yesterday's topic about, my own tenacity, I felt that last night. Like there was these moments where it was like, oh, we just have to just move on. Like we just got to put that behind us and go. And I was thinking what her coach was telling her, specifically my kid, being a pitcher who's like not hasn't been pitching her whole life. She's only been pitching for a couple of years, basically self-taught. My wife and her have worked on it a lot for 2 years. Has had a few lessons, but nothing super regular. Every time she would start to get in her head, he would notice it. He would say, hey, listen, just turn the page. Turn the page. And I think that was a really good lesson for her. And it was actually a really good lesson for me. because it's really easy to get to that point where you're like, this is frustrating me. And instead of just giving up, sometimes it's pause. Maybe that means pause, take a deep breath. Maybe that means take 5 minutes. Go walk away for 5 minutes. Turn the page, come back. It's fresh. There's nothing there. Let's start over. All that stuff that happened doesn't matter. And that's what happened last night. And it worked out really well. It worked out. We were both very positive at the end of the session. And we added new songs to the session last night. We're going to add, I think, maybe even 3 new songs this week. The pace at which we are now starting to progress, because I have spent the last 2 months in hyper focus on this type of music, we're able to push faster. And it's becoming like, oh, yeah. You know, as evidenced yesterday, got a new song. We played it last night. Like, it didn't take me a week of practice to be able to walk in and play that song. And being able to recognize, and this is the important part about it for me, working with him, with my bandmate, it's like having that respect of each other that says, when he turned to me and goes, "You're playing behind the beat," I'm like, "Yeah, I know, and I feel it." And then we talked about it, and I told him why I was playing behind the beat, because I was saying something, and he interpreted that as I was intentionally playing behind the beat, because that is a thing. As a bassist, there are times when you want to play behind the beat. There are times when you want to play ahead of the beat, push the song. And his remark was, you know, as a new player, you should be focusing on playing on the beat. And I was like, I'm trying. Like that. This was me trying, but I was listening. I was not actively focusing on my part. I was focusing on what he was playing and trying to find moments where I could add a little something or take a little something away. And that caused me to play behind the beat, because I was split focus. And I'll be able to do that eventually. Eventually, that will just happen. That if you've ever played an instrument or done any kind of repetitive activity, like, let's be honest with ourselves, music is repetitive. If you're playing a form over and over and over again, you will get to a point where it becomes just natural. You don't think about it. And working in a workshop, there are those moments where you start to get into a flow of things, and you don't have to pay attention to what you're doing. You do. Around power tools, you should. But, you know, there's those moments. Driving is one of those things, we've all done it so much that often you can drive from one place to the other and have no recollection of the driving, because you were so thinking or so concentrating on something else. The driving just happened. And that will eventually happen with music for me. But in the meantime, turn the page, right? Remembering that the next page is blank. We haven't written it yet. And so everything that came before doesn't matter. Because if you want, you can just turn the page, write a new chapter heading, and now we're on a blank slate, and let's move forward. Let's do better. Let's move forward. Let's think more positively about it. And that's what we did, and it felt great. And I related it a lot last night, like to what my kid's coach was saying to her, and what that team did last year when things were stacking up. Things would stack up. Like, there was one time they came back from like a 10-run deficit or something like that. It was a wild return and a victory. And sometimes that's life, right? Sometimes life stacks things up, and you just have to be willing to turn that page and say, all that stuff doesn't matter right now. What matters right now is I have to do my damnedest, my damn best right now. And that's a powerful tool. So just wanted to talk about it. I know there's a lot of music in there. I'm sorry. It's what's going on in my world right now. What's going on in your world? You should tell me in the comments, or if you have questions about, the music or whatever, you could put that down there too. Or you could just say, hey, let's talk about whatever. Or you can call me. My phone number is at the end of all these videos. You can leave me a voicemail that I could play, or whatever. You could text me. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Thank you for watching the video. Please like it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It makes me feel good. I get little tingles. I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are on a whole new chapter. 12 happy thoughts for troubled times. Number 1, down days are completely normal and not something you should feel guilty about having. Happiness is never constant. Surrendering to your sadness or whatever negative emotion is trying to come to the surface does not make you a bad person. But remember, if you aren't sincerely thankful for every smile, don't be totally shocked by every tear. Keep things in perspective. This is one of those things I had to learn at like 40 years old when Malia came into my life. I had to learn that it's okay to have these bad days. Like it doesn't reflect like I'm not it's okay. Like have the bad day, turn the page.